I watched you on The Breakfast Club. You debated Eric Adams, the mayor of New York. And I don't understand, first of all, how that happened. I don't understand why he, like, I would never do that if I'm Eric. How did you end up debating Eric Adams on The Breakfast Club?
So what happened was Charlamagne and them had Candace Owens on The Breakfast Club, and I criticized them for that, like publicly. I posted a video. I was like, they absolutely unacceptable. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. So Charlamagne called me up in the middle of dinner, like, "What's up, Queen? let me have it." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, let me tell you what's wrong with that for the next 45 minutes, right?"
Yeah,
So I did, and we have a philosophical disagreement on the matter.
respect.
But yeah. And he was like, "Okay, come on The Breakfast Club next week." So around Tuesday, I texted him and be like, "Oh, that's still happening this week." And he was like, "Yeah, we trying to have you in on Thursday with the mayor." I was like, "The mayor who? Eric Adams?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Let me tell you right now, ain't no fucking way they let that happen." Like, it ain't
I'd have
happening.
bet my last dollar he wouldn't have did that.
Listen, I was sure of it. I was confident that, like, that's not happening. Like, I was prepared for it because my mom had already convinced me. My mom didn't want me to do it and was like prophetizing negativity over my life. So I was so I had anxiety for the full day before because my mother was like, "Oh God, Lami, please no, don't do that. That's a setup, Lami. They did that's a setup. Don't do that."
Right. That's what I would have thought too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was sure he wasn't gonna come, and I was there at the studio first. I was there around like 9:30, and he was not there. He didn't get there till 10:15. So I was like, he's not here. I was like, yeah, that's not happening. And then they were like, and they also didn't tell me I would be doing the interview. I didn't know that until I was outside of the room. So they're like, "Oh, you're gonna be doing it, and he'll be here at 10:15." And I'm still like, yeah, ain't no
That's
way.
wild. So at this point, you still thought that somebody would be moderating and they'd ask you a question, ask him a question
Yes,
like that.
that's what I thought was gonna be happening.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's what so they told me. And then I'm in the room. He walks in, Charlamagne and them were like, have the cameras already on. Have them pointed towards the door. Have the cameras already rolling. And he gets here. Like, and I was as surprised as y'all. And then even after the interview, an interview going, I was like, they're gonna edit this footage. They're gonna bury this footage. It's not coming out. Sometimes like
Right.
I was like, let me post the picture now on
I
social
got proof.
support. You got to put it out. You have to put it out. So I was like, oh, especially then when the picture came out and people were assuming that means, like, because I was smiling in the photo, that I was kikiing
Lovey
with him and
dovey.
blah
I
blah.
was just right. You was
I was
just
like, Lord, please don't let. I was like, everything but that happened, but please don't let these people edit this footage to make it look like I was being nice to this man, because they're gonna call me everything but a child of God.
And then when you got in the interview with him, you kept hitting him with facts. You were like, you said this, you did this, you said this. And what was struck me was how many times he denied saying something that he literally said word for word.
Yes, yes. I love when he says he didn't call. I was like, you were the one naming the Latino and African migrants. And he's like, I didn't do that. Moments later, Venezuela, Honduras.
Right. Wow.
I love it.
So after you dog walked the mayor of New York, at the end of the interview, does he say goodbye? Does he smile? Does he hug? Does he cuss you out?
Yeah, so Charlamagne was like, "Oh, Mayor, you should get her number." Charlamagne was like very doing y'all should work together, So Charlamagne's like, "Oh, you should
He's a
get it."
connector. Yeah.
Yeah, so he gives me all his numbers, and then he texts me later, and he said, "Oh, it was nice meeting you today." And I said, "It was nice meeting you too, Mayor." And he said, "What is your name?" He said, "What does your name mean?" And I told him, I said, "My name means affluence befits me." And he responded with a prayer hand emoji that he did not change to the color of a black person. He said, and I think that is telling.
He hit you with the white prayer hands.
Yes.
Yeah, you Presbyterian prayer hands. Wow. So that's it, man. You now go down legendary status. But I don't know if you got a car, but you better pay your parking tickets on time.
Let me tell you something. Listen, the way NYPD is on my fucking back, Mark. Like, just harassed at the main Twitter accounts. Like, I can't even hide it. My mother lives in constant fear that I'm going to be in America, putting myself in danger doing this work. And I really like dismiss her and blah, blah, blah. But now she's seeing people, like, cause her algorithm on YouTube is set to her child. So anytime she's seeing everyone else's coverage about it. So she found out about NYPD tweeting about me, and she calls me like hysterical, like whatever. She sends me like a prayer from her friend. I'm like, oh my God. And my boyfriend had the nerve to be like, oh, I mean, like, this was the vigil of the 19-year-old When Rosario, who was killed by NYPD that I brought up in the interview, my boyfriend wanted to go to the vigil, and I was like, baby, look on Twitter right now. Like, NYPD goes to those things for the express purpose of fucking with people in the rest of in general. You want me, public enemy number one, to go right now? We're locked up. We're getting locked up.
Right, you going to jail.
I was like, stay in this fucking house, close the curtains, don't walk nowhere at night with me, and stop posting that I'm your girlfriend. These people are gonna come for you. That we get just anxiety is high. I was like, oh my god, these people are on my head.
Yo, but it's worth it, yo. You inspire a whole bunch of people. I watch so many people, even in night school audience right now, the night school classroom, they hear like, yo, that interview inspired me. I took notes. I learned how to move. I learned how to confront the powerful. Like, I hope you appreciate just how important that interview was, but just how important you are to us, yo. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight on Night School. I know it's late. Even though you're young, you should be you
I'm an old, tired body gal, Mark. I was on the couch layout like, oh, Mark always does everything I ask him to do. I have to come.
Well, I appreciate it. Y'all tell everybody where they can find you.
Y'all can all find me on all my social medias at Miss Olurin, MSOLURIN, and on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel, Olurinati. We drop new episodes of Olay and Friends every Sunday at 1 o'clock. It's going to be great. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
You peace.